we're gonna sing first, okay? One, two, 3, 4. You got it. Sit down. But the positive things about the ball game, and regardless of who you're playing, if you're out there in a backyard scrimmage, is that we didn't turn the football over on offense. We didn't turn the ball over on the kicking game. I think we converted all of our kicking situations. We didn't make anything happen big with it, but we were sound. We turned the ball over, I don't know how many times defensively to our offense and scored some points. So those things right there in themselves, men, are where you start from a technical standpoint of winning a football game. Tomorrow is a new day. And we'll start trying to move another one of those stones next week.
And welcome to the Auburn Football Review. The Cabbage Patch coach after a 55-0 win. It was
well, that's Fred's dance, and you know, it was great to see our players have some fun for a change, and you know, I don't want to get any false illusions about the ball game. And Sanford had a good little football team, but they didn't have the kind of a depth or kind of ability we had. But I thought, as I mentioned in the show earlier, that there's a lot of good things came out of the game, and regardless of who you're playing, you don't turn it over, and you make some things happen on defense, and you're sound in the kicking game. Then, you know, there's a lot of pluses there. Plus, we got to play a lot of people, and we needed a game like that. And we got to play a lot of young folks going to help this football team during the course of the year.
Let's go in the dressing room now and see some of the players.
We need a big one like this, you know, and we've been on the other side of the ball before, where Sanford is right now, but, you know, it's a big confidence builder, and I thought we played well, but next week we're going to have to play a lot better.
Obviously, you all were challenged to run the football this week.
That was our game plan coming into the game, was to run the football, and that's what we wanted to do, is go in and run the football and control the clock and prove to everybody that we could run the ball.
Up and over, huh?
Yeah, sometimes you do what you got to do.
The cornerback tried to squat on me, and I just avoided the collision, went out, stand, threw it up, had to fight for the ball, jump ball, went up and got it.
Quarterback likes you better when you go up and get it, huh?
Yeah, I think he looks to throw it to you a little bit more because he think you want to go out and catch it.
Coach Dye stressed all week that running was our main priority tonight, to run the ball. And if we had to pass the ball, we'll pass the ball, but he was more concerned on the running game.
Guys came out with a different attitude, worked hard last week, prepared for the game, and it just carried over into the game, and everybody playing pretty hard. We're working as a unit now, and only if we're working as a unit, nobody can beat us. Last week, you know, we got to lay off key and got a little down on ourselves, but this week we did much better. We picked up all the blitz they gave us. The running game was going, the passing game, the defense was picking up and giving us the ball. I mean, Sanford's a great team. They're going to win a lot of games, but I think we came together tonight.
First time you ever did that?
Well, junior high, back when I was in 8th grade, I picked up a fumble, ran it back for 55 yards, so that's my longest I ever had. It was in junior high.
What made you do that?
I mean, I really don't know. You know.
It just seemed like the thing to do?
That was it. I mean, well, I call it my little Eric Red, you know, over the top, you know.
Eric Red over the top?
Yeah, Eric Red over the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know how to give a fair catch?
I learned now. Ooh, man. I haven't been hit like that in a while. I had them all accounted for except him, I guess.
Were you okay? Did it ring your bell or anything?
I rang my bell a little bit, but I'm all right. It hurt my hand more than it did, my head.
Did you ever think about making a fair catch signal?
It's not very exciting. I was going to try for a little run, see what I could do with it.
6 o'clock start at Jordan-Hare. This is the Auburn Centennial Tent. The Auburn Network provides this tent for players to come by and for fans to see them and get their autographs. Stacy Danley was there, Ben Thomas, Benji Rowland, Mike Colin, Charlie Trotman, Tom Bryan. Quite a nice feature to this centennial year, Coach.
Well, those guys knew something about how the game should be played. Here's good pressure right here by Willie Whitehead. And I got to meet Mr. Whitehead. He came in the dressing room last night. There's a nice reception, and I'm not sure who tipped it. Was that Fred Smith? Fred Otis Mounds won, but Carrigan Cunningham came up with the interception, and Stan comes back and has good protection, hits Fred backs on a crossing route, and
That was a 3rd and 1 there for the first.
Fred played the ball game with a little bit of a pull groin, and we didn't play him that long. He had a couple of catches. That was a nice throw and catch with Orlando Parker and Stan. Orlando's getting better every day.
Had 2 really good catches.
Well, he's working hard in practice, and you know, if you get that done, and as James Willis, and that looks more like Auburn defense is supposed to look right there.
It looks kind of familiar.
Alonzo Etheridge and Chucky Johnson, and nice play by Fred Smith, and Fred had an excellent ball game last night. Had a long punt return called back. We stand again throwing to Fred, and Fred turned this one up the sideline, and I believe that he might have played another down or two, but basically that was about it. Got a chance to get the ball to our running backs last night, and Ted Yarborough. In fact, I thought all of our backs ran hard. As a matter of fact, they might have been trying to run too hard, and we might have just found some soft spots that you know, we're going to see on the film that probably would allow them to gain more yardage. But
Scott Etheridge finally
big thing, we were aggressive. As again, fine play by Chucky Johnson, and as Anthony Harris. We're playing a lot of freshmen, a lot of young people. Stan hitting his roommate right there, Reed McMillan. Reed makes a couple of those catches coming out of the backfield, and he's an excellent pass receiver. And
Brown game really got going at this point.
Alex Smith makes a nice run outside and uses his speed to turn the corner. Nice run by Joe up inside, and we had some creases inside running the football. There's another one to Ted Yarborough, and Ted's got kind of a knack of just slipping tacklers, and makes a nice run on the draw right here for about 18 or 19 yards. This is a touchdown here. I guess that other plays later.
He had a touchdown and 69 yards rushing on 16 carries last night.
There's a lot of what you mild upsets around the conference yesterday. Excellent pressure right there, and then there's the big guy. I thought he broke his neck on the guy, but I see he took a lot of that on his shoulder, and looked like Randy played well last night, and he's a guy that we needed. Look at old Chuck getting out here and run just a little more, Chuck, and you'd have run him down from behind. That'd been a milestone for you. He is right in the middle of it again. Tim Cromartie and Willie Whitehead and Benny Pierce. Here's the freshman, Adrian Reese, and those are the kind of runs I'm talking about right there. Need to just, stay up and run, and he runs through right there.
That's encouraging.
That's encouraging, and that's we knew that last week we really wanted to play him against Ole Miss, and then the way that we come with the blitzes and things, we were scared to put him out there. And Joe Frazier takes it in, and Joe has been handicapped with a hurt all fall and has worked a lot. And but it's good to see him back. Our secondary seemed to have better coverage last night, and we're getting a little more pressure on the quarterback. And right here is where we were talking about earlier, where Sean Carter, the walk-on split in that means a lot to our football team. said he thought he had them all accounted for. He probably didn't know it last night, but it was 2 of them instead of 1. That's a fine play right here we got 2 fumbles, got 2 turnovers off the kicking game last night. Jason Merchant comes up with that one, and we get one later with Mark Johnson, and there again, Stan's throwing to Orlando, and he makes a nice catch, kind of fading away from the ball, and Scott Etheridge comes in and kicks a field goal before the half, and Scott is another youngster that has worked extremely hard and wasn't the #1 kicker coming out of spring practice, but this fall has been our #1 kicker, and
doing a good job.
Yeah, he's doing an excellent job, and he's a fine young man.
We'll be back in just a moment.
Now, an Auburn Centennial Minute, brought to you by Food World. You can't beat Food World.
In 1957, the Tigers of Alabama Polytechnic Institute won their first ever national championship. They triumphed with a defense led by All-Americans Jackie Burkett and Zeke Smith, and were guided by a quarterback named Lloyd Nix, a converted halfback who stepped into the starter's role just weeks before the year began. A 7-0 victory over top 10 ranked Tennessee set the stage for an undefeated season. The Tigers claimed the top spot in the polls after a 6-0 shutout of Georgia. Their place in history was assured by a 40-0 thrashing of Alabama, after which the undefeated Tigers were proclaimed national champions.
If you like that Centennial Minute, you'll love the video, 100 Years of Auburn Football. It's on sale at a number of retail outlets, and here's an 800 number for you to call for the 90-minute video, which really contains some outstanding old film, and pictures that you probably have never seen. It's $34.95, and that's the number, 1-800-488-3883. Halftime at Auburn. I was impressed with the crowd, Coach. I really was.
Well, I was too. I was worried about the crowd based on last week, but we had an excellent crowd, and Sanford brought a good crowd of people with them, and they were very enthusiastic, and our crowd got in the game, and of course it's just nice playing at home.
And with students away, they'll be back next week, and of course I'm sure there's some tickets available for LSU, so you need to get those early in the week. That should be an outstanding
a great football game.
And a great game after what they did to Mississippi State.
Well, I just, I predicted that LSU would beat Mississippi State, and there's going to be a lot of games like that in the conference this year, because it's just, the teams are too equal, and they got too much talent and well coached, and there's just going to be I don't think anybody, when you go on the road in the conference now,
it'll be hard to win.
That's right. So you just got to be a lot better than the people you're playing against.
You saw the Centennial Tent, which is located in the south end zone. Members of the 1957 National Championship team will be in the tent this Saturday for you to go by and visit with and get autographs. That begins 2 hours before kickoff. And all of Auburn's championship teams will be honored in halftime ceremonies at the Auburn-LSU game, which is an early kickoff next Saturday. An 11:40 kickoff next Saturday at Jordan Hare. We'll be back for the second half in just a minute.
Of course, defensively we stayed pretty consistent, but offensively we came out the second half and they stopped us a couple of times, and I thought that was the only downtime we had during the ball game. And
well, you had to love the turnover ratio, Coach.
It's a great return right here by Fred Smith, and I don't know, 70-something yards for a touchdown, and it was called back with a clip, and just a really fine effort on the part of our specialty team.
I think Fred is warming to that punt return.
This was an unusual play right here. I'm not sure who hit the ball. I think it might have been Randy Hart hit it, and Ramon Luster picked it up off the guy's headgear. Of course, he was on the ground, and ran the option a little last night with Stan, and he looked like an old wishbone quarterback right there. Again, Ted Yarborough running inside, and here's a nice play on the draw where gets us back. We got penalized for holding and makes a thing. And fine run right here by Tony Richardson. And Tony Richardson has really been one of the bright spots and highlights of fall practice. He's worked as hard as anybody on our football team. Outstanding run right here by Alex Smith, and runs through all the arms, and there's a nice hold in there, and he just makes the rest of it happen. And we go up 41-0, and
now you have a chance to really use some people.
There's again Randy Hart and Terry Solomon. Terry Solomon, a true freshman. It was good pressure, and by Willie Whitehead again, and I believe that was Luster with him. Terry Solomon over there again. And here's outstanding coverage. I think they had 7 yards return, which was great, and getting them all up high. And punting team, especially team, did a great job. And there's Doug Bell, and there's a throw and catch from Patrick Nix to Robert Scott. And here Reed McMillan takes it in for the score. I had a chance to play Patrick, and he made some nice plays and did a good job on several scrambles. And
Brian Carcosa can really pump it into the end zone at times. Of course, he was getting against the wind the other way, too.
Well, he kicked it out of the end zone a couple of times that way. There's a fine play right here by Terry Solomon again, and Mike Pelton. Terry is a true freshman. Patrick pulls the ball down and makes a nice game with a scramble, and got Ernest Wallace downfield blocking for him. There's Andy Fuller in that tight end, and nice run by the freshman again. And those young ones are down there scratching. And
played about 4 tight ends, didn't you, Coach?
Well, right. Of course, we run 2 tight ends some, and the young ones are. There's a great effort on the part of Adrian Reese to get the ball in the end zone.
Watch him lay it in the end zone here, just before he hits the ground.
These young ones are going to get better and better, and we just, the problem that we got is we need to be good right now. And until I thought we really played about as well as we could play last night at this point in time, which is a common to our players and coaches now. And I say that as in respect to Sanford too, because they didn't catch us down and looking ahead. They caught us as a hungry football team that's trying to get better and wanted to play and wanted to play well, and I thought we did, regardless of who we were playing. And I think we did some things in the game that we can build on and hopefully be a better football team and a stronger team and a more mature team when LSU comes to town.
Back with the closing comment in just a moment.
People often ask me what it's like to be the mother of quadruplets, and in one word,
Week for the big win with LSU. They come back with 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter to beat Mississippi State soundly in Baton Rouge last night. Kickoff will be at 11:40 this week. The game is on Jefferson Pilot. The Auburn Radio Network will be on the air at 10 o'clock Saturday morning, and we hope you'll join us back here for the replay with Coach Pat Dye on the Auburn Football Review. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.
Coach Dye's Clothing and Furnishings.
There's no luck in football, only winners. Let's go. Seniors. Get up, Alex. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think that under the circumstances, probably couldn't have been better. It couldn't have been better because you had to come from behind. We learned a lesson about not putting somebody away when you got a chance to. There's going to be so many areas in this football game when we can look at it, that we can improve and get better and learn from it. And learning from a win like this, man, is a hell of a lot more fun than learning if the game had ended up 28-27. So we're going to teach those lessons and we're going to learn them, and we're going to be a better football team because of it. But we need to take a day off and let our motor cool down a little bit. I've pushed you and pushed you and I pushed you, and I knew I pushed you to the limit. Amen. And coaches too. Well, yeah. And but there's no other way to do it, and there's no easy way to do it. But just like times like today, make it all worthwhile.
This is the Auburn Football Review with Coach Pat Dye, brought to you by your...
Welcome to the Auburn Football Review. What a game. I hope you saw it. Auburn lost a big lead, then came back in dramatic fashion and won it in the final 8 seconds of the game with that field goal that you saw. Those guys are capturing some hearts, Coach.
Well, it's kind of strange that it's a game played by great athletes and giants, and it comes down to the leg of a 150-pounder to decide the outcome.
Not a very big leg either.
Well, his bigness is in the heart.
That's right.
And he's displayed that before yesterday. And of course, Scott Etheridge is the young man I'm talking about to kick the field goal. But it was a lot of effort and a lot of heart put in the game, and we can learn a lot from it and be a better football team because of it. We're playing a lot of young people, and we made some young people mistakes yesterday. So we'll get to correct those, and the big thing is that if they continue to play hard, then good things are going to happen to them. And they played hard, and I didn't have any question about it going in the game because they've worked hard in practice, and you carry the habits that you develop on the practice field to the playing field on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go to the dressing room and talk to some of those guys who had themselves such a great day.
We had to have it at the end, and we got it. And
You hunted 85.
I'll tell you what, man, over-reliable. Over-reliable.
And you also threw the ball away a couple of key times, too.
Yeah, we had, I guess a minute 40 left in the game when we started, so we didn't have a lot of time. So, I knew it was a 2-minute drill, and all we needed was a field goal. So, we got 4 downs to get it in. We don't have to get it all in one.
How about that little scrawny field goal kicker?
I'll tell you what, man, I love him to death. I would have loved him if he would have missed it, but, he hit it. That was great.
And I told Stan, just look for him. I'm going to be over for him. And that's what happened.
Oh, yeah. All we got to do is play together.
Upper-class guys making the plays down at the end. That's what it's supposed to be.
You're right. That's right. When it comes to the clutch times, you got to have somebody to go to, and Fred was there, I was there, and all the front linemen were there to hold the guys off the stand so he could make the play, and it just worked out well for us.
Jimmy, what do you think about Scott Etheridge?
I think Scott's a great man.
Basically, just kept trying to stay calm. I think, everybody gets uptight. I got a little uptight, but I just try to keep telling myself I can make the kick. You can make this, you can make this. And, I just kept my head down and followed through straight, and it went through. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Did you know it when you looked up, or did you?
Yeah, I kept my head down and looked up. I saw I was going in, and there wasn't really too much question about it. So I was pretty content with that.
We knew that was going to be pretty tough, so we just had to plan to go out there and just get a man-on-man and just try to knock them off the ball and let the running backs do their thing and run the ball.
How about it? Senior, how you feel about it?
Feel great. It feels great to have a win like that under our belts. It seems like we're getting back to where Auburn used to be.
They drove the ball like they had the ball twice, and they scored twice quicker on us and all.
Yeah.
I guess we kind of got down,
You let the coach have something to do next week, huh?
Yeah, hopefully we'll learn from our mistakes and go out and prepare for our Southern Miss.
We feel that we need turnovers to win games, and we went out there and did that today.
Of course, y'all made it interesting down there at the end, too, didn't you?
Yeah, we made it kind of interesting. I believe it's a good test for us, and it taught us a lot from coming behind. And I I feel that
Can't relax in this game.
can't relax, you know, not in the SEC, and they played great, and at the end we played good too.
How about this is Scott Etheridge? You gonna pat him on the back something?
Pat him on the back, probably take him out to dinner too.
The Auburn Centennial tent was full of 1957 players. You saw Zeke Smith there and Jackie Burkett, Mike Simmons. A lot of autographs, a lot of fun yesterday, Coach.
Well, it was a typical September afternoon or morning and afternoon. It was hot and humid, and we knew going into the game that LSU was going to play a lot of players. We did too. We get started on defense and probably played as well as we played in a long time. As Otis Mounds and Willie Whitehead, and we got a lot of gang tackling. And
this is their second.
Not much running. Great play by Damian Primus and Ramon Luster and James Willis as Calvin Jackson and Chris Shelley makes an interception, and Carrington Cunningham tackles him. Good running back.
That's his job, Coach.
That's right. I thought we got a little better at times yesterday, but we still got to get better running the football, and that's the first of 5 field goals right there by Scott Etheridge.
One short of Del Greco's record yesterday.
We can't get into the pattern of not scoring when we get in that close. We got to get it in the end zone. And Benny Pierce and Tim Cromartie and Jason Merchant. Tim again, and I can't see who the other guy was coming out. It looked like Ricky Sutton played a lot better yesterday, and there's a fine return by Fred Smith. And
he's warm into that.
Good block right there by Terry Solomon, the freshman. And
this is a third down. No, excuse me.
That's Alex Smith, and Alex ran the ball real well yesterday at times, and he just, the consistency has got to get there, and that guy probably showed as much courage as anybody on the field yesterday. Thomas Bailey playing with that special mouthpiece and face mask. That's good running inside by James Bostic, and there's Andy Fuller, freshman, blocking for him downfield, and this is a touchdown by James, and there's Andy again. Offensive line, Greg Thompson and Wayne Gandy and Chris Gray and Sharon O'Beek and Jason Taylor and Shane Kiesler played a lot yesterday, and Brian Osborne, Ernest Wallace, they all contributed in the game. Fine play by Chris Shelley. There's a little misdirection pass, and you can just feel the fact that the kids are playing more together. Screen pass right here. Great play by Fred Smith. And maybe it was that the one that he made the play on? I'm not sure. I guess James Willis made that play.
Boy, James had a game. Gee.
Ramon Luster knocks it down, and you know that. I don't think they had a first down in the first half until they started a touchdown drive.
Right.
It's third down play, and Stan picks up a key first down. To take it and make another first down there, and they come back. This is a touchdown drive, I believe, Phil, and they fumbled the ball 3 different times on this drive and got them all back. And great, there's Londro Etheridge and Jason Merchant and Ramon Luster and Anthony Harris.
And there's the touchdown.
That's the touchdown. It made it a 10-7 ball game. I thought this was one of the key drives in the ball game. Bringing it back, and there's a key play right here on third down, and Alex Smith picks up the necessary yardage to keep the drive alive. Stan comes back, makes a great throw right here to Melvin Hines. And another key play right here, just as Thomas Bailey, and Thomas lost about 20 pounds while he had his wired jaw wired.
He looks different, doesn't he?
This is another key play right here on third down. I guess that was a fourth down play.
That was fourth and 3.
We ran the option and pitched it to as Fred Baxter. And Fred, I was proud of Fred yesterday for playing as much and as long as he did, and because he hadn't worked all week long. He's got a full groin, and actually didn't practice any until Thursday. And you know, a senior and a guy that's been around as long as he has can get away with that, but not a young one. But the conditioning factor was what had me worried.
Okay, and we'll be back. There's the 57 team, and all the championship teams were honored at the half and ceremonies. Just in a couple of familiar guys there.
Two guys that are good friends of mine, Jeff Berger and Benji Rowland, and they're good friends with each other. This is a near touchdown right
They're wearing some rings too, Coach.
I don't know how long the run was for the touchdown, but Joe actually stepped out of bounds going down the right boundary with his left foot. You know, that's hard to do. But here's another big play, and you know, I never did see where the holding was, but James Bostic hits in one side and bounces out and goes around the other side.
Quarterback got a good block.
For the touchdown and get it called back. Great punting by Terry Daniel yesterday, and great coverage right there by Brian Bringsfield. And Brian is our snapper on punts and field goals, and one of the fumbles, and I think we ended up getting us an Otis Mounds.
This is a wild 2 quarters of football right here.
Great job right here by Stan running the option, and
the nifty quarterback, Coach.
Jumps the pitch, and Stan runs it in for the touchdown.
The option has been good down on the goal line.
Right here, you don't realize how big this play is until the end of the game where that 2 points made the difference. Stan throwing to Orlando Faulkner for the 2 points.
Looking good now, 21-7. But it is not over, as we all know. Butler.
We come out the second half and making things happen on defense, and offensively we get the field goals, but we don't get the touchdowns, and we just got to get there's a Auburn lady that knows how to whistle, and get another field goal from Scott Etheridge.
24-7 now.
It's Adrian Reese that I'm talking to right there, man. We probably should have played him more yesterday, but in a game like that, the youth is something that LSU suffered from it yesterday. Our young backs left the ball on the ground, and there's James Willis and Tim Cromartie. Reed Miller making a nice run inside.
Doing the heavy work. Here's another field goal. Now the score is 27-7.
Well, right now, you know, we had them in position to put the game away, and we should have. But they come up with an interception right here, and I guess this is where they
take it down the score.
Start that drive, and right there, if we intercept that one, Benny Pierce is going to run it in for a touchdown, and it's a game of near misses. And
this was a great pass.
Well, it was a great execution on their part, and you know, we broke down defensively, and you can't let those people get behind you. And you know, I don't know what happened on the goal line. The play before was wide open, just like he was there, and they come back and throw the same play for the touchdown. Right here is a breakdown in coverage. You're supposed to have somebody coming over the top to pick that guy up, and again, that's youthful mistakes, and you can't.
It is getting tight now.
You're right, and you make those mistakes like that, and you're going to let somebody get back in a ball game.
They get a good kick and pin Auburn on the goal line. What a kick.
Great kick right here. I don't know how long this kick was, 50-something yards, but I kicked that coverage a little bit, and they make a 12, 14-yard return with the thing, but we finally get him down. And LSU does a great job here, the little freshman quarterback. Well, not this drive. We get it back here again. So, you know, we're still in business, and And this is a key first down we make, and we turn it over.
The defenses are worn out by this time, Coach. It was hot.
Well, you know, you're still playing hard, but you're not playing at the same speed you played with earlier. And, you know, it's true with our defense. The same thing is true with LSU's defense.
Now it's a minute and 40 seconds to go, and you got to have it.
And Stan has, of course, been there before, and nice run, and Reed McMillan, fullback, and makes a nice run for the first down.
McMillan and Baxter, they were the guys in this drive.
And Fred, he goes to, I don't know how many passes Fred caught in this drive. I think
Three.
Reed caught 2 or 3, and again he hits Reed McMillan. And you know, that experience is a wonderful thing when you're coming down a stretch like this. And there's another great pass to Fred, and
He actually threw to Fred 3 times and completed 2.
Run a draw right here for 4 or 5 yards, and that put us at the 25-yard line, and that's where we kicked the field goal from. And you know, LSU called timeout and tried to shake him up, but that little guy just hadn't missed many in practice, and he hadn't missed many in the game.
We'll be back in just a minute.
Well, they are probably better defensively than LSU, and you know, we haven't beaten them in the last 2 years, so it's a big challenge for our football team, and it's a big challenge to get better this week and learn from the mistakes we made against LSU, and we've got another week where we don't have school, and the kids can spend a lot of time studying film.
Okay, Auburn Radio Network on the air at 11:30. Kickoff at 1. Be there at Jordan-Hare Stadium, and we'll have it for you on Sunday on the replay. Thank you.
Coach Dice Clothing and Furnishings provided by The Locker Room.
How about the defense?
How about the defense? 1, 2, 3. War Eagle Landry, War Eagle Landry, go, 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 on, victory, side of the bank. Give that 7 Hey, War Eagle win for Auburn, our victory land. Hey!
I'm like Wayne. It wasn't pretty, and we gave up we had a lot of opportunities early in the ball game to put it away, and you know, we didn't cash in on it. Defense did what you had to do to give us opportunities, and all day long, and the only little lapse we had was right there in the fourth quarter on defense. But you did a great job, because the whole third quarter, man, we were playing on our end of the field, and you just never gave them a first down, never gave them a chance to get in there close enough to where they could get anything out of it. We can't look any further down the road than Vanderbilt. You got all the ingredients right here, man. You got everything you need. But we got to keep on keeping on.
Using 2 old-fashioned ingredients of winning football, kicking and defense, the Tigers beat Southern Miss 16-8 yesterday. Congratulations, Pat Dye.
Well, thank you, Phil. You know, I looked at the game and studied it pretty close last night, and you know, I'm not saying we're 100% effort-wise, but we're getting a lot closer, and I thought that we had outstanding effort again yesterday, and the attitude of our football team has been excellent all year long. And we went in the game yesterday against Southern with the intentions of trying to put some character and some guts in our running game, and and I did, but it didn't take Southern long to figure out what we were trying to do and what our plan was. And they countered with a 8 and a 9 man front, and we couldn't execute the short passing game. And all three phases hurt us. When you execute the passing game, it starts with protection, and then it starts with running routes and quarterback and the receivers being timed up, and we just didn't execute that part of our offense. And a lot of times we were running upstream, trying to run the football and force it in there into as many people as they were playing against the running game. So that we've just got to get more efficient and being a football team that can take advantage of what you're doing on defense. And defensively, we had a lot of big plays and had some individuals that played better than they played since they've been at Auburn, and I'm certainly excited for them. Tim Cromartie being one, and they just took control of the game, and we didn't give up a big play, unless you want to call the touchdown pass a big play, which it was. But I think that without question we got better last week as a football team, and even though it didn't show up on offense in the score, we did get better, and I thought our backs ran as hard or better than they've run all year long.
Okay, let's go in the dressing room, and we talk first with Tim Cromartie.
It's starting to look like some of that old-time Auburn defense. Yeah, I was yesterday looking at a film on Tracy Rock and David and all those guys back in the years. Which kind of inspired me, gave me something to, look forward to this week, and try to play as good as they played. And I just came out with a good attitude and did what I had to do.
You did. Textbook stuff. You held the guy up, and then you took the ball away from him.
I did about 1/11th of the work out there on that interception. It was no way I'd done it without the other guys out there. Everybody's working together. I think we're working hard to get better every week, and we got a long way to go.
Boy, you wish you'd picked that ball up down there, didn't you?
It's, all I was thinking about was just getting on it, and I should have picked it up.
Glory just passed you by there, right?
Yeah.
Hey, but that wasn't the whole show today. The defense played a whale of a football game today. Defense played real well.
This is starting to look like some of those old defenses.
Yeah, I mean, we started, I think, last game, with LSU, defense coming together. And I think today we put a full game together.
Have you got time before you leave to teach this guy over here how to play? The one with his head
Yeah, I got a little time left. I'll show him what to do.
I didn't think he was going to throw the ball. And so he got rid of it, and I kind of went underneath the receiver. And I had the ball. The receiver just did a good job just coming back to the ball and stripping it out.
The receiver did strip the ball away.
Yes, he did.
Okay. Hey, this is defense, huh?
Yeah, this is defense. I think we played a pretty good defensive game. I wish we would have got the shutout.
Alex breaks that long run at first, and it was almost like, hey, what's going to happen here?
Yes, sir. That surprised me at first, and I said, well, it's going to be a great game. And then they started slowing us down, throwing a lot of things at us, and we had to pick it up, and that slowed us up a lot.
Boy, a lot of those sacks today were coverage sacks, too.
Well, we got a lot of guys back here that are trying hard, and a lot of guys up front that are trying hard, and as long as we keep, so to speak, brother-in-law in a little bit, things will work out good.
Your guys are coming home, Coach.
Well, we hope they are. I mean, we saw some improvements today, and we were concerned about getting some pressure on them, and we got some pressure on them. I'm happy for the guys that got the pressure on them today.
A lot of sacks. Some of them were coverage sacks, but that's part of it.
That's part of it. We take sacks any way we can get them, coverage or no coverage. We just want sacks.
The former coaches were honored at Auburn yesterday. I see Paul Davis there, and a lot of familiar faces.
Well, I think there's Ms. Jordan and Sue and Dr. Muse and
that was
Coach
Lude,
and I guess that's Mike Hubbard, and I don't know who the other gentleman is. I can't.
There's a tiger.
There's a lot of little tigers.
Something cute.
A lot of fun, and we knew we were going to be in for a long, hard day. Southern has got an excellent football team, and particularly defensively, and our defense matched them yesterday. That was Willie Whitehead making a play early in the ball game. And, as Randy Hart, and Randy, I believe, is getting better and better each week and doing a terrific job. Tim Cromartie was the man of the hour yesterday, and I've never seen Tim play like that before. he played with emotion, and he came off of blocks, and he ran the ball carriers down, and he's an outstanding play. I think was this the first play from scrimmage?
Right.
And Alex Smith broke the sweep for 51 yards and an excellent block, and he made a good cut at the line of scrimmage, and then another nice move downfield, and again, there's pressure coming, screen pass, great play by James Willis. And
well, he had some plays.
As fine tackle by Carrick and Cunningham, looked like Carrick played real well yesterday. He had an interception, and Carrick said on the early part of the show that the defense is working hard to get better each week, and we are getting better each week. Stan scrambles around a little bit and then hits Alex Smith out of the backfield for was close to a first down, and come back and hit Orlando Parker across the middle, and
then miss a field goal on this drive.
Then miss a field goal, and actually I felt like we should have had 14 points in the first quarter, and you're going to see a lot of folks getting around the ball. There's Mike Pelton and Ricky Sutton, and there's outstanding Ricky coming from the backside and getting pulled up on the front side, and Ricky pursuing the ball and makes a play.
Third and long
upfield. It's Anthony Harris and Mike Pelton again.
Stop him again. Auburn misfires again. Here they go on defense again.
Coach Dennis and our secondary did an excellent job last week of correcting the mistakes, and as Willie Whitehead making another play. A great interception by Carrick and Cunningham, and Carrick is playing that weak side linebacker, learning and playing a little better each week. Adrian Reese. Adrian gave us a couple of nice runs at tailback, and you know, right now we're searching for the right combinations there, and Stan makes a nice play on the screen pass, throws it to Joe Frazier, and Joe makes a good run with it. Had a couple of good blocks out there by the offensive lineman. I thought the offensive line at times, and I couldn't tell because of what Southern was doing, but it looked like to me we got lots of movement. This is a great play by Stan right here. The ball's tipped up in the air, and Stan goes up and spikes it to keep it from getting intercepted, and we kick our first field goal. Scott Etheridge had another big day yesterday, 3 out of 4 kicking field goals, and
as a 37-yarder there.
I just, you know, he just continues to add. Another fine play by Tim Cromartie. I'm excited too, Tim. As excellent pressure, and James Willis hits the quarterback's arms and causes the ball to kind of flutter out there, and Calvin Jackson picks it off.
Waste no time getting in the end zone here.
Nice play by Stan. Recognized that Orlando was uncovered. Got the ball out there to him quick, and he makes a nice run, gets the ball down, I guess, around the 30-yard line. Hands it to Reed McMillan, and Reed makes a nice cut back across the grain and right up the middle, made a couple of people miss, ran over a couple, and got it in the end zone. Out there, he ran through some.
Quite a run, 28-yard run for touchdown.
Reed's playing outstanding football, as is Tony Richardson, the other fullback, and I thought overall yesterday, just looking at it without talking to Coach Casey, that our backs ran extremely well in the game, and you know, and that was our intentions going in.
We'll be back in just a minute. All players will be honored next week, the Vanderbilt game, and all former players, managers, and trainers are invited to go by a players' pavilion, which is located on the baseball diamond at 10:30 Saturday morning. Team of the Century members will be available for you to go by and shake hands and get autographs at the Centennial Tent, which is located just outside the south end zone gate. That starts around 11 o'clock. This Centennial celebration, quite an event at Auburn each week for home games. We'll be back for the second half. 10-0 starting the second half.
Well, we actually get the ball second half and don't move it, and we come right back playing defense, and there's James Willis and Randy Hart and Willie Whitehead and Tim Cromartie, and just constant pressure. Outstanding play by James Willis on that tight end. They got a great tight end, and they tried to go to him. Here's a fine tackle by Fred Smith.
And they have to punt.
They played most of this quarter on our end of the field, and our defense did a great job of not letting them in there to get any points out of it. And we just had a tough time trying to throw the football, and I'm not being critical of any one individual, because it takes 11 to execute the passing game just like it does to play defense any other phase of the game. And there's fine play penetration by Chucky Johnson. And Chucky's been hurt a little bit, but it looked like he got around the ball some yesterday. And
Terry Daniels now will be called on to get him out of here.
Terry did an excellent job of punting the ball yesterday. He hit one bad one, and as a guy that's doing a great job on the specialty teams, Brian Brainsworth from down in Fairhope. He's a snapper on field goals and extra points and punts. And there's containment by Willie Whitehead and pressure and a sack by Tim Cromartie. Again, there's pressure. Jason Merchant's there, and this has been a fine play by Fred Smith again. Randy Hart just takes his guard and pushes him right back in the quarterback's face, and they come up short again.
Go to the fourth quarter now.
As James Willis stripping the ball, and we don't come up with it, but our defense has done an excellent job of stripping the ball, and there's a fine hit and good pursuit by Chris Shelling and Chucky Johnson and Carrington Cunningham. They miss a field goal here. We come back, and Reed McMillan makes an excellent run right here. Just keeps on keeping on, and
he was Auburn's leading ground gainer.
That's a fine run and tough running up inside by James Bostic, and a lot of these runs were made into where we had too many people at the line of scrimmage. Fine throwing catch by Stan and Fred Baxter, and Scott Etheridge comes in and kicks, I believe that's a 47-yarder?
48-yarder.
48 yards, and it's 13-0, and we're really playing well defensively, and offensively we're not. There's a great play by Doug Bell on the kickoff return team. Our specialty teams are playing good, and as pressure and Damian Primus and Tim Cromartie, and I'm not sure who that pressure came from out there.
I believe it was Whitehead.
Whitehead, it doesn't surprise me. Good coverage, big play by Calvin Jackson. You can see that Southern had a lot of opportunities. There's a big hit right there by Tim Cromartie, and you know, I think that next time Willie gets an opportunity like that, he'll scoop that one up and run in the end zone with it. That's a rule change from last year. Here we're really just trying to get the ball in the middle of the field to kick the field goal to make it 16-0. And we up 16 there, and just
6 minutes to play.
There's an excellent throw. That's Aaron Hightower from Danny Dopp. We tried to recruit Aaron, and he went to Southern, and they did an excellent job on the pass, and then they run a quarterback draw for 2 points, and it's 16-8, and Reed McMillan comes up with the play on the onside kick. They hold us, and Terry Daniels does a great job of kicking the ball out of bounds here about the 3-yard line. And we just...
I'm close to get him in
right,
the end zone.
We got our ears laid back, and ball's batted up in the air and wherever, and I believe that was Randy Hart that tipped it. And here's a big lick right here by Mike Pelton, good containment on the quarterback, and by Willie Whitehead, and run a quarterback draw again. There's Mike Pelton again on the on a play on the quarterback, and that wound it up. It was a big win for us, and I know we didn't look the way I wanted us to look on offense, but I think that we can take the positive things that came out of the game and build around them and get more efficient in the passing game. The thing that I'm concerned about and have been concerned about is that I know we got the ability to throw and catch a football, but our running game has not been tough enough and good enough to play against the good football teams in this conference. And I do think we got better running the football yesterday. Now we got to do a better job of managing the two of them together.
Back in just 1 minute.
Good night. Good night.
But you did a fantastic job. I think 3 turnovers, and probably the biggest thing of all, the offense didn't turn the football over today, man.
Good job, Auburn.
Great job. And if you take care of that part of your game now, see, you don't put the defense at a disadvantage because we don't ever give up field position. When our kicking game is doing as well as it's doing with the punting and the kicking and the coverage and all, and it's you know, it's all part of the game. So you know, I'm happy for you because again, it was a fourth straight week of getting better. And I want to tell you what, man, that's hard to do. That is hard to do. I mean, that is a real compliment to your coaching staff and the guys and working and the attitude of you men. I told you, I mean, we can't do it without attitude because there's no way to force it on you if you don't accept it and willingly accept it and then go out and do the work to get better.
This is the Auburn Football.
And welcome to the Auburn Football Review. The Tigers put it all together and beat Vanderbilt yesterday 31-7 in the rain. The old coach with the flu stood out there and looked like you came through pretty well.
Well, I think so, and it was a fun day for Auburn people, and we had a few no-shows yesterday, but the ones that came had a good time, I can assure you that.
That was fun.
And I thought we played our most complete football game yesterday from as far as what it takes to win, and the opening comments said the defense gave the ball to the offense in good field position several times, and the offense didn't turn it over during the game. And we were playing with a wet ball and, you know, in pretty tough conditions. So I think we're making a little progress every week, and that's what this team needs to do, and it's what it ought to do. It's a young team and a lot of inexperience. We played a lot of young people yesterday. Had some older guys, seniors, that didn't play because of injuries, but the younger guys are getting better. So, and you know, I think that you know, defensively, we gave up one 28-yard pass, I believe, and that was the longest play in the ball game, which you know. But
they get 20 yards rushing in the second half.
Well, you know, our defensive team is, I mean, I can watch them work every day, and they're getting better and better. And at times, I tell you, yesterday it looked like defense is supposed to be, and a lot of times, maybe the whole ball game, looked like you got too many people on the field out there.
Let's go in the dressing room now and talk to some of those guys.
You bust your tail all week on the passing game, and it's raining sideways when you come out.
Well, I'll tell you.
Still run the
Yeah, under the circumstances, I think we did a great job, especially with the no turnover situation. Our backs ran hard, our receivers caught the ball and held on to it, and I think our passing game progressed this week. And I don't know all the stats right now, but I thought I did a good job offensively. We just got to keep getting better, though. We can't slack off.
We're working hard all week against the Vanderbilt offensive line. You know, against our scout offensive team, they gave us a good read all week. So all we had to do was just outquick them, and really we played the run. And when it came to pass, we really pretty much knew it. So we just got off the ball.
Hey man, they couldn't keep you out of the game.
So I'm an old man. I'm tough. The older we get, the tougher we get.
You like that run support up there?
Oh man, yeah, it was great. It was great. I mean, Mississippi State kind of run the same scheme, so hopefully we can take that and use the same package next week.
Coach, you got to be proud of you guys today. They knocked them back.
Yeah, it looked like it played a lot better. I think it was everybody contributed, the running backs and tight ends, and I think, up front, hopefully we're getting a little confidence and experience and get a little bit better.
Second half, we went out there and Coach Bowden challenged us, told us we were just going to run the ball 3 straight times, whether they stop us or not. And the young players started building confidence, and we started running pretty strong.
Y'all getting good at that snap when they jump off sides.
Yes, sir. I'm just waiting for people to catch on to it. They almost caught on to it today. I barely got them when they jumped.
That one back starting to go, isn't it?
Yeah, it's it was inches from coming together, but now we got the linemen blocking everybody, and we can see our way through, and everything's coming together.
And we ran the little ram formation with 3 wideouts, and we had one-on-one coverage in the secondary, and I ran a corner route on beat the cornerback to the end zone.
It was like that through the third and fourth quarter backside cut, and I saw it, and I got in there and got a touchdown.
You broke one tackle, and all of a sudden you're standing out there in the open.
Yes.
A steady rain, windy, temperatures in the 60s.
We won the toss, Phil, and of course elected to take the ball. The Eagles wet there, and I guess everybody's wet a little bit, damp anyway. We won the toss and elected to take the ball in the second half and got a good break right here. The ball hit right in the corner instead of bouncing out of bounds. It bounced in. Great play right here on the first. Looked like James Willis and a down lineman. I'm not sure who that was. Benny Pierce. But we got a turnover on the first play of the game, and Reed McMillan starts right off, makes 4 or 5 tough yards up inside. And
3rd and 2 play right here.
James Bostic makes it on just a base handoff. Offensive line coming off the ball good.
Get a couple of penalties, get backed up.
And we throw the corner out to Orlando Parker, and Orlando's getting better. And Stan had plenty of time to throw the ball here, and that's what happens when you get one-on-one coverage and you got time to throw it. So it all works together. It takes 11 people to execute an offense, and that's what we've been missing. We've had parts of it. Good penetration by Ricky Sutton and tackled by James Willis and Fred Smith.
Here's a 3rd and 1.
Again, I thought that our defensive staff did a great job of coming up with a plan for Vanderbilt and just gave them problems all day long. Stan throwing to Sean Malone, and Sean's a big youngster in engineering from up in Huntsville, and I saw his mom and dad after the game last night, and he's just an outstanding young man, and additionally going to be a fine football player.
Penalty stopped that last Auburn drive.
It's Chucky Johnson right in the middle of the line, and they couldn't get the fullback established, and that always hurts it. And the quarterback got outside and trying to make something happen, drops the ball, and I guess Chris Schelling came up with it. Stan throwing to Frank Sanders, and we're not sure how much and how often Frank will be able to play. He's got a back problem, but just going to let him be the judge of that. Look at Reed McMillan running the football, and Reed has really meant a lot to this football team. He got hurt last night, yesterday. I'm not sure how long he's going to be out, but
I'll bet it'll be a minimum with him.
Well, there's fine running by James Bostic and Scott Etheridge comes in and kicks a field goal. How long was that field goal?
35 yards.
35 yards. I know it was in the rain with a wet ball.
He's 11 of 13 on the year.
There's good penetration by Damian Primus and Mike Pelton, and Garrick Cunningham is playing better and better each week as an outstanding play, and I believe Alonzo Etheridge had his best game yesterday.
Sure did.
They punt to us and probably shouldn't have fielded this one right here at the 5-yard line, but Thomas Bailey makes an outstanding run with it and got it back out to, around the 25 or 30-yard line.
Tina made a good block.
Yep. And Fred Smith made a good block on the guy that was split out. And our backs ran extremely hard yesterday. That's a good job of coming off the ball right there. Looked like it. Anthony Redmond got the movement up inside, and good tough running by Tony Richardson. And as Reed McMillan again, running a base handoff and sliding outside and picking up a key first down. Stand on a bootleg, and this was a play put in by, I think, suggested by Coach Campbell, and he
got a holding penalty.
Yeah, we got a big play out of it, made a key first down, and then Stan does a nice job of running right here, and but we got a holding penalty on the pass to Reed, and it's called back.
He's short of the first
We had
down.
several penalties yesterday that stopped drives more so, as much so as Vanderbilt did. Fine play by Brian Robinson. We're still playing a lot of young folks that they're throwing to that great receiver right there. And Clarence Morton was back yesterday and played and made some big plays. Here's one coming right here.
5 people out there.
Free safety, and Clarence and James Willis, and Willie Whitehead.
Late in the quarter now.
Good pressure. Great play right here. You can't see all of it by Tim Cromartie, and this is James Willis out on the tackle. That's a half, and it's 10-0. We missed a couple opportunities and stopped ourselves with penalties in the first half.
We'll be back in just a minute. Their football program continued yesterday with the players being honored, former players, trainers, managers, and this is the players' pavilion located on the baseball diamond. Coach, they needed that. It was raining.
Yeah.
It was really raining, but a lot of guys showed up.
There's Richard Shea.
Lee Gross, great center. Spence McCracken of Lee High School here, unbeaten this year.
Smith does a great job with his football program at Lee.
Yeah.
Year in, year out there, right at the top.
And now we're in the Centennial tent. Ben Tamburella, Team of the Century guys here.
Red Phillips,
yep.
Tucker Frederickson.
Let's hear what Tucker has to say. This was his first trip back in a long, long time.
I was hoping there'd be some people. You know, they got to be a little older to remember me, though, but I'm very happy to be here, and sorry about the weather, but it's a lot of fun.
Tucker was an all-time vote-getter in our 100-year Centennial football team, and it was due primarily to the fact that he played great offensive player and a great defensive player, and they voted for him on both sides of the ball, and he ended up getting more votes than anybody.
The Letterman's Club did a lot of work to bring all that together, and also the Tigerettes held a big get-together yesterday. They've been around 16 years, Coach, and they tell me they had over 500 at their barbecue after the game yesterday. Big day at Auburn, despite the rain. We'll be back in just a minute. You do just what you must do to open the half, Coach.
Well, this is the biggest and the most impressive thing to me all day long, outside of not turning the ball over offensively, is taking this football and driving for a touchdown. And they had some big plays in it and overcame a penalty in it. And that's the first play of the drive right there, handed to Tony Richardson. Reed McMillan got hurt in the first half, and Tony started and played most of the fullback. Key play right here to Orlando Parker.
It was a 3rd down and 6.
And this is a key play in the drive right here. It's a long yardage. And I'm not sure how far it was It was over 10 yards, or whatever. What was it?
28 yards.
28. Well, I mean, it was third and something.
It was second and long.
Was second and long. Well, and then come back and Derek Dorn, the big freshman tight end from down at Daleville, Alabama, and Derek is, you know, he's young and dropped one right in his hand yesterday, but he's got some ability and he's a great kid and getting better every week. And Lonzo Etheridge, Benny Pierce, Willie Whitehead, and Randy Hart,
old Benny
Pierce. And as Willie chasing him around and Randy chasing him around and James Willis and Carrington Cunningham and
and the radar man.
Is that what it, I guess that's what he is. He's got something built inside of it. As Willie Whitehead and Alonzo Etheridge on the sack, Coach Witt's guys. That quarterback didn't have much place to go. Damon Premius got good penetration, and he tried to cut back, and Carrington Cunningham was sitting right there waiting on him. I'm not sure who
they
that
get
was.
their best drive of the day.
That was Anthony Harris. And
they keep the drive going here as we go to the fourth quarter. They're about to score.
Right, they completed a 28-yard pass in that drive that was a big play for them, and they got it down and took it in, which, you know, Vanderbilt is a good offense. They come back with an onside kick right here and touch it before it goes 10 yards and give us the ball in excellent field position. And if he hadn't touched it, I'm afraid they would have got it because our guys didn't play it too good. There's James Willis. James is...
This is the big defensive stand of the game, I think, Coach. Had to stop him here.
There's Tim Cromartie making a key play, and pressure by Willie Whitehead, and there's Chris Schilling. And there's a lot of people getting around the football. Draw play, Carrington Cunningham, Randy Hart, cleaning up.
3rd and 17 now.
There's Jason Merchant getting pressure upfield. Otis Mounds is getting better at free safety, and Mark Johnson and Clarence Morton both play some free safety. This is the key run in the ball game right here. It was 3rd and 2 and a 3, and that's what we call 2 timeouts back to back. Great shot by Vic right here.
You love that, Coach.
And James Bostic, and James had a great day running the football yesterday, and that was certainly a big run right there. James has got good speed, and he's a big, strong youngster that certainly has established it. As Damon Primus and that kid fumbled the ball, and we got it. And in fact, he got it. As Fred Smith tipping it and Chris Schilling catching it. Big turnover out in the middle of the field. Those two little guys right there have fun playing the game. As Patrick Nixon in at quarterback, and I guess that was James, and he's going to hand off right here to Tony Richardson, and a great block on the corner out there by Robert Scott, freshman wide receiver, and this opens a door for Tony to run it in, and it was it's a big win, and excited for the players, and I thought we did get better. We still got a long way to go. We're not...
Hardly agree, Coach. Hardly agree. We'll be back in just a minute. Auburn goes to Starkville, Mississippi to play Mississippi State next Saturday night. Game time is 6 o'clock. At this point, there is no television plan, but stay tuned. It's at least remotely possible that some could develop. Good luck to you and the Tigers next week, Coach. This team is improving right along.
Thank you, Phil, and I think Mississippi State probably is as talented as any football team in the conference. And
it'll be a test. And we'll be back next week with the replay. Thank you for joining us.
Coach Dye's Clothing and Furnishings provided by The Locker Room.
How about the seniors getting out here and singing a little song? Get up there, Melvin. Get up there. Get up there, Carrican.
I guess I'm a senior, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Slow down.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. War Eagle Baptist, never stop and never leave. War Eagle Baptist, go, go, go. On this is Saturday. Give hell, Saturday. Hey, War Eagle, it's for Auburn,
Mighty proud of you for the comeback in the second half, and I mean, it just, you know, you right down to the wire. Defensively, you did a great job of keeping them off of the scoreboard. They got the turnover. We came right back and got the turnover. Offense did what they had to do to get enough points on the board for us to win. Scott, thank you again, buddy. The kicking game was excellent all day long. I hope we can learn something from it. I hope we can come together closer as a football team because of it. It's some big plays, critical plays. Of course, you know, the one at the end is fourth and 7. Orlando, you got to get open and make the play. Stan, you got to get in the ball. You got to have protection to do it. His execution, that's what you're looking for now. You ought to be able to take that and build around it and build on it. So, man, it's again, you know, it ain't gonna be a bragging win. It's gonna be one that you can be thankful for.
If you like your homecoming suspenseful, Jordan-Hare was the place for you yesterday. Maybe a little too suspenseful for the old coach.
Well, it was kind of tough on him. But you know, I'm mighty happy for our fans and players, and that we did come out with a win. We certainly didn't play as well as we were capable of playing the first half, and came out flat. And as defensively, particularly, we just didn't have the kind of intensity that we've had in the past weeks. And offensively, we had opportunities in the first half, and we got a touchdown and a field goal, and we just stopped ourselves and went in 14 points behind at the half, and playing against a football team that had gained a lot of confidence during the course of the game, but came back out the second half, and our defense did a great job. I think they had 50 yards total offense in the second half, and most of that probably came on the last run of the game when that quarterback scrambled for 25 or 30 yards. But offensively, we scored enough points to win, and I'm thankful for it.
Amen, Coach. Let's see some of the players now and hear their comments after the game.
Good job. Thanks, Coach. Nice to have a game.
Who called the play there on fourth down? The coach? He called it.
Yeah, well, we wanted to run a deep in route, and I said they're running a little man underneath coverage, so I said, let's run the Z-drag and see if Orlando can beat the guy, and he did a good job of beating him.
We needed that. Yeah. I think we came out, you know, we had some key situations, some downs we had to really get the yards, and I think we did better today than we did all year.
Coach Dye left the locker room after halftime and told the players to talk among themselves, and everyone decided, we really this is our season, we need to make something out of it, and everybody came together and they pulled together. I think that's pretty good.
If we can pull it together and have everybody hitting on the same firing pin like that throughout the game, I think we're going to have a great team finish out on a good note. That's when we win the big games.
Stan, offense, they turned the ball over, and I said to myself, we can't let them score right here. No field goal, no nothing. We need a big play. Evidently I came up with it.
Orlando Parker makes a big catch. Stan gets a throw. The offensive line blocks, and I'm not going to leave out my holder and my snapper. They're perfect every time, and the 4 misses I've had on the season have been my fault. So they did a good job, and we stuck together. A lot of teams could have folded, but we dug down deep and did what we had to do to win the ball game.
The team of 72 honored along with the regular homecoming festivities yesterday. There's Terry Henley, the tailback, and is it David Langley, Coach?
David Langley, Bill, I expect this is the most popular football team that ever played at Auburn. Free-spirited group that love each other and had a great year. And and they're a lot of fun to be around. As our seniors were captains for the game yesterday, and Auburn folks that are interested, Stan Vitock's going to be on Good Morning America tomorrow, I guess. We had good coverage on our kickoffs yesterday, and the kicking game was excellent. We started off playing defense, and I don't think that Southwest started with a lot of confidence in the game, and we didn't encourage them early, and we stopped them the first couple of times they had the football, and we get 10 points out of it, jump out 10-0 ahead, and we think it's going to be easy, but we were certainly not right in that evaluation because it was a struggle from then on. They stand throwing to Melvin Hines, and for the most part yesterday the protection was good. Stan's going to hit James Bostic here, and James makes a little move and picks up a first down around the 20.
11-yard gain.
Going to come back and hit Frank Sanders. Frank's going to make an excellent run here. A couple of good blocks. Melvin Hines gets a good block, gets it in the end zone for the touchdown. And
looking again. Frank is he's still week to week with the back, coach, but he looks like he's doing fairly well. Huh?
Well, he's displayed a lot of courage even being out there, and he's missed a lot of work, but he's a talented athlete. Willie Whitehead on the sack. I guess that's probably 8 or 9, 10 sacks or something. Here's the draw play to James Bostic. James had a very productive day running the football again yesterday and catching the ball. I think he caught passes for about 60 yards. Scott Etheridge comes on for his first 4 field goals for the day, and it makes it 10-0.
43-yarder there.
It's been pretty easy to that point.
Here comes the...
Carrick and Cunningham is playing extremely well for us right now.
Turnaround play here, right?
We get pressure on him, and that guy is a great receiver, number 1, Butler. And he slips behind that coverage on the broken play and the scramble, and then they come back, and this is a
second
short yardage play right here, and they hit a seam and 40 yards for and 30 on this basic toss sweep. At the change of the quarter, they come back and again beat us in man coverage, and
Hayes' ability to dance around back there was really evident.
He did a great job for him at quarterback, and just a little misdirection play here, and anymore everybody's got backs and skilled people that can run, and if you're not ready to play and ready to play with intensity, then anybody you play can beat you. And about this time here, we have decent coverage, and ball's tipped up in the air. They catch it for a touchdown, and
on the last play of the half,
to myself now and say, if that ball's going to bounce that way all day, then we're going to have a tough afternoon.
And it's 24-10 at the half, but stay with us. We'll be right back.
Now, an Auburn Centennial.
Back for the second half in just a minute.
Very little. They kick off to us when I knew we were getting the ball coming back the second half, and we take it right down and get a field goal, and of course that closes the gap a little.
There's a little margin for error in a situation like this, isn't it, Coach? You have to shut them out.
Excellent play by Stan and James Bostic. Stan dropped it off to him. He made a nice run with it.
Third down play here, too.
Here's a screen pass, another one that James takes 12, 15 yards. And they stop us. We kick the field goal.
38-yarder, third of the day.
That's an 11-point game. And we're playing the way we're supposed to play on defense. That's Benny Pierce and Tim Cromartie and Carrick and Cunningham. Here, Chris Shelley makes a nice play. James Willis is out there. Forcing the punt. We get a great return here from good blocking. Good block by Mike Pena. and the kicker makes a tackle, and we're back in business at the 30-yard line.
Here's a 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8, and Stan's going to hit freshman tight end Derek Dorn over the middle for about 15 or 16 yards.
Punch it down to the 1.
Gives us a first down. It's a 10, and we take it on in to the score from there. Stan runs a quarterback sneak for the touchdown.
Now you go for 2 to get within 3, but don't make it.
We don't make the 2-point conversion, but
Frank fell down.
well, I'm not sure what happened. I'll have to look at it on the wide angle and to really tell. Great interception by little Calvin Jackson. Again, we're in business out at midfield. I don't believe we score on this drive, do we?
No.
We actually end up going for it on 4th down and don't make it. And there's a nice play right here. Stan hitting Derek Dorn again for a nice game.
Here's the 4th and 2 play.
We got penetration, and we just didn't really get back to the line of scrimmage.
Play defense.
But we're playing defense, and they're not getting much when they run. I think they had about 50 yards offense the second half.
3rd and 6 here.
There's great pressure, and they end up getting a penalty for grounding the ball and puts them back a little further. And
Auburn can't move on its next possession. This is their next possession.
Cunningham again making a big hit, big play. Tim Cromartie and Randy Hart. One's got the quarterback and one's got the fullback. One of them had to have the ball. The fullback had it, and Randy made the tackle.
Go to the 4th quarter now, 3rd and long for USL.
There's good pressure. End up with Benny Pierce getting the sack on the quarterback.
You look like you would get good field position out of this one, but look.
Well, this is probably my fault because they were kicking into the wind, and I told Thomas Bailey, I said, don't get back so deep, and that kid actually kicked it over his head, kicked it all the way to the 20-yard line.
It was a missile.
The James Bostic running the sweep, makes a nice first down. You know, when you get in a game in a critical situation like this, every play is a big play, and every down is a pressure down. And Alex Smith makes a nice run, good blocking by Joe Frazier, and
there's a 3rd and 2 call there.
Had to have it.
1st and goal at the 10.
It was Ted Yarborough. I think it's the only time Ted ran the ball yesterday, and gets it down to around the 5.5. Scott Essex comes in and kicks a field goal that makes it 24-22 with about 5 minutes and something to go in the game. They come back on defense, offense, and we stop them again. Nice play by Fred Smith. Big sack by Carrick and Cunningham. And
going the other way now.
Right, and of course we've got the ball backed up, and the ball is tipped here. They intercept it. Run the ball back to the 10-yard line. They get a 5-yard penalty, a 10-yard penalty for pushing one of our guys in the back.
They're back at the 19.
Sometimes this is fate, I guess, but that quarterback slipped down and never did get a clean handoff, and the ball was being juggled and popped right out in Fred Smith's hand, gave us new life with about 4 minutes to go in the game. We miss right here on a critical 3rd down play. We punt. And Terry Daniels is doing such a great job punting for us. Hits us when it would have been nice if it stopped around the goal line now, but he punted it, I don't know,
68 yards.
68 yards, and gets it in the end zone. And again, we got to stop them here. They can't make a first down. If they make a first down, the game's over. We
3rd
stop
and 2.
them. Good penetration.
Oh, that's a hit.
That's a 3rd down play that forced them to punt the football. Now we're on the last drive. James Bostic runs a draw for about 15, 16 yards.
That was a 3rd and 5. Here comes a 4th down and 6 now.
This is actually what happened. They actually called timeout. We called timeout, went out there and lined up, and they saw the formation. They called timeout to see how we were going to line up, and then we changed the play and Stan actually suggested the play that we called. Knowing that they were going to be in some kind of man underneath, and felt like that.
Kill the clock with 20 seconds to go, and here's the winning field goal. Scott Etheridge has kicked 18 field goals this year, an Auburn single-season record. Couldn't have come at a better time, Coach.
That one yesterday was a thing of beauty, and of course he was 4 for 4 yesterday, and
18 to 22.
The thing about Scott Etheridge is that he's an outstanding field goal kicker, but he's a better person.
That's great. We'll be back in just a minute. Next week against the University of Arkansas will be a special time for this man, and for number 34, Bo Jackson's number will be retired, and he will be honored in ceremonies, Coach.
Well, it's going to be a big football game for us, too, Phil. It'll determine whether we have a losing season or a winning season. Of course, we got 3 games left, but it could put us over the hump in that respect. And Arkansas has had this week open to get their people rested and well and healed, and we don't have that luxury. We got some people banged up a little yesterday. We just have to get them well as quick as we can and have a productive week of practice and get ready to play a Arkansas team that's capable of beating anybody on their schedule.
Bo will be there, and will be on the pregame radio show. He will be on the tailgate show somewhere after 11:30. He'll be at the Centennial Tent there on the radio program, so it'll give you an opportunity to go by and at least see Bo. I don't know if you'll have an opportunity to get to him. He will be a very popular man on Saturday. Homecoming is really a big thing at Auburn now. The golf tournament that you went out and said a few words. I know you had a busy schedule, but homecoming is really special.
Well, it is, and it was such a beautiful weekend, and fortunately we won the ball game, and that certainly kept it from being any downtime. So I think the people had a great time at Auburn this weekend, and again, the 72 team that was being honored is one is special in everybody's heart, and it's just it's a fun weekend.
We'll see you next week on the Auburn Football Review.
Coach Dice Clothing and Furnishings provided by The Locker Room.
I think there's been enough tears shed and enough emotions as far as the way I feel about you and what you mean to me in my life, and the thing that I certainly didn't want it to end this way, and I thought we had a chance, and we did have a chance. And you can, as you grow and you look back on this football team, man, just it's the little things that matter. It's the little things that matter, and it doesn't make any difference. The bigger the occasion, the little things hurt us out there today. So let's learn from it. You men, and when you walk out of here, get your head up, give the credit to the other side. Now, make no mistake about it, regardless of how I feel or how you feel, they're a great football team. And, I've been in this dressing room a lot of times when it was, the shoes on the other foot, when we were the best football team. But today that, you got to give them the credit. So carry yourself like men and display your class just like you did out there today. And I'll see all of you when you get back to school Monday, and I'll be around. So, and I certainly want to spend some individual time with each one of you before you go home for Christmas holidays. So I'll make an effort to see you, or you make an effort to get out there and see me. I love you, and when you love Auburn, just remember this. I don't know I don't know who the coach will be. I know that we'll hire the best coach that's available. The thing that I ask you to do is just be loyal to Auburn, love Auburn, and if you do that, be loyal to Auburn, and they're gonna look after you.
This is the Auburn Football Review with Coach Pat Dye. Brought to you by your Alabama Coca-Cola bottler. Coca-Cola Classic. You can't beat the real thing. Colonial Bank. Alabama's hometown bank. Osmos pressure-treated pine only from Great Southern Wood. If it doesn't say Osmos on the little yellow tag, believe me, you don't want it. Your local John Deere dealer, where quality, value, and service are a way of life. Buy Golden Flake Snack Foods. One taste and you're stuck on Golden Flake. Alpha Insurance. Call Alpha. Put your trust in people who care. Likes Hot Dogs. One bite and you'll know why they say, when it's likes, it's gone. Your Alabama Toyota dealer. I love what you do for me, Toyota. And by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, the caring company.
Welcome to the Auburn Football Review. By way of quick review, last Wednesday, Coach Pat Dye resigned as Auburn's head coach, and of course the next day coached his final game for the Tigers at Legion Field, and we've already seen that part of the tape after the game, Coach. It was a day of, I'm sure, tears and a lot of fun. Really.
Well, it was, it brought back a lot of memories, and a lot of the former players came by, and it certainly the game didn't turn out like we all wanted it to, but, Alabama's a great football team, and Coach Stahl and his staff, the players, deserve all the credit, and they just really were better than we were, and we didn't make the plays necessary to overcome the difference in that football team and ours, but the game itself is big, and we've been in the dressing room when the shoe was on the other foot, and there's some footage in here back in '82 when the game was so big, in '83, and and then we had 4 in a row at one time, so it was it was times when Auburn was riding high, and we were having all the fun, and the other side was not, but that's the nature of the game, that's the nature of life, and you just have to learn to deal with it. And that's part of the lesson that you learn from the game of football that are so valuable to you and to the young men that play it. I wouldn't swap my life and coaching for anybody else in the country.
Thank you, Coach. We'll come back and we'll look briefly at the Auburn-Alabama game last Thursday, and then we will have some remembrance of the last 12 years with Pat Dye. So stay with us. Cool, windy day at Legion Field.
I just, there's going to be a lot of shots in here. Of course, Ralph Cunningham and Coley Clayton have just been with me from the very beginning and mean a great deal to me. The 2 state patrolmen that they're just loyal, and
they are.
I mean, they've been. I never have done as much for them as
you don't have
they
to,
have
Coach.
for me. Well, I want them to know that I love them and I appreciate what they've done. And this is, you can see that defensively we are getting after Alabama, and Fred Smith and James Willis and Carrington Cunningham and Chris Shelling
Classic old-time college football.
Yeah, we had some chances, and they just had such tremendous pressure up front that there's a Terry Daniels punting. I think he averaged 42 yards yesterday. He's given us a great year of punting, and
that's some terrific first half passes.
Great coverage. Brian Brainsworth, our snapper, and Doug Bell, 2 walk-ons that meant so much, and the walk-ons have meant so much to our program over the years. And there's pressure again. Ricky Sutton, he finds an offensive guard that'll throw it to. And as Lassick, and Lassick is an outstanding player. 2 fine players right there. Tim Cromartie and Damian Primus are both playing. Oh, goodness, what a hit by James Willis. And
what a game he played.
James came back and had a great year this year, and he should be an All-American next year. And, of course, James Bostic with tough running, Chris Gray and Wayne Gandy and Greg Thompson and
crippled up offensive.
Yeah, we were crippled up, but that didn't keep them from fighting and trying. And Jason Taylor and Anthony Redmond, they all just fighting their heart out. And here again, we're after him as Ricky Sutton again. Ricky's been hurt off and on his whole career, but he could get healthy and stay healthy. He certainly got a career in pro football. Willie Whitehead, a walk-on that's meant so much to our football team. Very talented young linebacker right there, Anthony Harris, is going to be a great player. Again, there's Willie getting pressure, and Fred Smith. What can you say about Fred? His heart is bigger than his body.
About 3 times.
Calvin Jackson and Clarence Morton that came back and played extremely well coming down the stretch. And, there's Stan throwing, running.
This in the second half now.
Thomas Bailey. And again, this is Terry Daniels punting, and like I said, he did a great job and really kept us in good field position throughout the game. And Mark Johnson and Carlo Thornton. Reed McMillan and Tony Richardson have given us great leadership this year, and we probably should have tried to run the football a little more on Alabama, but
get the ball to the 39 there, and here comes the play that turned the game around.
This kid that has again
next play
strong running with Bostic, and Antonio Langham is a great corner for Alabama, and he made a play that he's certainly capable of making. And that was, in the ball game we had some momentum and we're moving the ball, and that was a play that changed the game completely. And there's, of course, Coach Stallings that has done such a great job with the Alabama program, and he's a outstanding man, and he and his staff and his people deserve all the accolades that go with the kind of season they're having. And we got to reload and rebuild. I think we got enough football players right now on campus to have a good football team, and we'll hire the right guy to get the job done.
All right, Coach, and we'll be back with some remembrance in just a moment.
There's Ron Milton running down there to love on him a little bit.
Barbecue was good at the Cotton Bowl that year, Coach. The score wasn't too good, but this was...
Right here, we were, in the dressing room after the Cotton Bowl, I told the kids that, the ones that believed in the program, believed in us, that we were going to build it back to what it should be. And this is the Tiger Walk before the Alabama game in '89.
4 years of 39 wins, 3 bowl, 3 SEC championships, 4 wins over Alabama. You did put it back together.
Absolutely. The lawyer Tillman and Reggie Slack, Jeff Burgers, and Stacy Searles, and so many outstanding players, James Joseph and Stacy Danley and Alexander Wright. I could go on, and I wish I had time to name all of the outstanding young men and the great players. And as Reverend Baggett, one of my closest friends and the spiritual leader of our football team for 12 years.
And if we're out on the War Eagle, we'll be back with the final comment in just a moment.
Every week I sit out and watch games.
You got a minute, Coach. It's all yours.
Well, I'd like to thank a lot of people, in particular my staff, all the staff and their families over the 12 years, in particular the ones that have been with me for the 12 years, and Wayne Hall and Neil Calloway and Bud Casey and James Daniels and Joe Witt. They've been there for the building and the championships, the good times and the bad. My own family, Sue has put up with me and made it possible for me to work, and Brett and Pat and Missy and Wanda, that's in school at Auburn now, fixing to finish next year in architecture, and certainly the administration and the board of trustees. They've been tremendously supportive, and all the Auburn family. I got a lot to be thankful for, and I'm very grateful for the support through the years. And and any young man out there that's considering Auburn, don't think that we're not going to build a program back, and don't keep your mind open and give us an opportunity to recruit you, because it is a great school and a great place to go to school and live for 4 years and get yourself ready for the rest of your life.
And Mike Hubbard and the Auburn Network and all of us wish you all the best. God bless you, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Coach Dice Clothing and Furnishings provided by The Locker Room. This has been the Auburn Football Review with Coach Pat Dye, brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, the Caring Company, your Alabama Toyota dealer. I love what you do for me, Toyota. Likes hot dogs. One bite and you'll know why they say, when it's likes, it's gone. Alpha Insurance. Call Alpha. Put your trust in people who care. Buy Golden Flake Snack Foods. One taste and you're stuck on Golden Flake. Your local John Deere dealer, where quality, value, and service are a way of life. Osmos pressure-treated pine, only from Great Southern Wood. If it doesn't say Osmos on the little yellow tag, believe me, you don't want it. Colonial Bank, Alabama's hometown bank. And by your Alabama Coca-Cola bottler, Coca-Cola Classic. You can't beat the real thing.